Hey, this is Matt from InvestiQuant. Today is Wednesday, August 19th, 2020. And yesterday, the market saw more higher prices. So we pushed up into new highs again, making a new 20-day high close in the S&P 500. And in doing so, we also did that with what is called a neutral day type within market profile. So a neutral day type is where the market takes out both the opening range high and opening range low that is made within the first 60 minutes. So you get range expansion beyond each end of the first 60 minutes of range in trading. In market profile, we call that the initial balance. So both sides of the initial balance was broken. And it closed within that 60-minute opening range. So that is called a neutral day. And we had a neutral day that finished within the center of that opening range. And that took place at a 20-day high. So that's kind of a unique pattern that I figured we would look at today as we continue pushing higher in this overnight session. So let me set this up. We'll look at all four instruments. The setup's going to be the intraday open, getting long at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, exiting at the close of regular trading hours, which is 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time. For opening filters, I'm simply going to use gapping up. I'm going to keep it a little bit more generic to keep all of the samples that I can keep within this test, since it's not a super common pattern. And then I'm going to go into the price pattern section, and I'm going to say that yesterday closed at a 20-day high. I'm going to hit equals next to that in the new high section. Then I'm going to go into the market profile pattern section, and this is where you can find these different types of day types. So the very first option up here is neutral center, and again, that means yesterday's price action expanded beyond the first 60 minutes range in both directions. And then closed back within that first 60 minutes range. So I've got that added here. And then lastly, let me just throw a 200-day moving average on here so that's a generally bullish environment where that 20-day high close is happening, and hit view results. And here we go. So these are the results of going long at the open, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and exiting at the close, 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time, when you gap up after a 20-day high close that was a neutral center day. So again, that is a market profile pattern, and above a 200-day moving average. So historically, dating back to 2003, the ES, this pattern has happened 44 times. The NASDAQ has seen 35 samples, YM 32 samples, Russell the most at 63 samples. And looking at the win rates here, ES is quite a bit weaker than the others, just 32% of these closing above the open by the end of the session. NASDAQ is a little bit under 50-50, YM a little bit under 50-50, and Russell a little bit stronger than the others at 57%. So three of the four have leaned a little bit weaker than the Russell. But looking at these average win and average loss sizes, like I often like to do, you see the average loss on all four of these is larger than the average win on all four of these. So historically, this has been a pattern that when it loses a lot bigger than what it makes when it wins. So looking at the ES, it doesn't win that often historically, and when it has won a smaller amount than what it has lost on average. NASDAQ and YM are not strong win rates, so that's not really an indication of this pattern showing a bias in one direction or the other, but it has shown when it moves lower, it tends to move at a larger amount on average than when it moves higher. That's the same case here with the Russell, although the Russell does have a stronger win rate than the others. Now, it's worth mentioning, as many of our patterns do, this is another one that makes a big difference on where it opens. So I've got this set with a gap up as the opening filter. The gap right now is not very large, so if this is the gap down, that would definitely change these stats. So I would encourage you to go to the opening filters and test different opening scenarios as we approach the open with this pattern, because you will see some dramatically different results with this pattern. So hopefully you found that interesting. Good luck, and we will see you next time.